The battle is over, the votes have been tabulated, and it's time for another wrap up episode of Who Would Win Masters. Today, we're breaking down the aftermath of our latest battle as two masters of their own universe faced off, a fight of abs and glutes, swords and axes, and oh so many loincloths. We'll be revealing the official winner based on your votes, reacting to your comments, and things you've posted on Discord and social media. I'm Sam Proof on all the socials, and when we asked you who would win in the battle of He-Man versus Kratos, you had a lot to say, and we're going to dive into it. But first, welcome back, Matthew Harris. He repped Kratos, and he's back to defend his honor. How are you feeling going into this episode?
This is how I feel coming into today. I feel like there were some of you out there who really saw me, and because of that, I feel that there are those of you out there who can see the truth. I think that it was an epic battle. I think that we both really came out swinging hard, and I think, you know what? I'll just put it this way. I will say that thank you, William Schmidt. I will say that I think those who know. And that's, I'm just going to leave it at that.
All right.
And
all right,
those who can't do, teach. Wait, how's that thing go?
That's right. All right, but you're
those
not
who
even here yet.
can do
This
and those who
ghostly
can't
voice.
teach. Yes.
All right, as
Oh, wait, I've been
always,
introduced. I'm not allowed to talk yet.
yes. As always, back from staring at the mirror and repeating, "You're the He-Man. You're the He-Man." Our own battle master. It's Ray Stakenas. Ray, how you doing?
You know,
Now
I
that you've
refer
been-
to myself, Sam. I only refer to myself now as the Who Would Win Master of the Universe. Thank you
That's
very
right,
much.
that's- All right, excellent.
And I am very real. I've been accused of being a ghost. I am regretting to say I am still with us.
And also with us, members of our Patreon. A quick shout out to Ollie, William Schmidt, and Matthew Dawson, who are joining us live in the behind the scenes chat, which if you had joined the Patreon for as little as $0, you could be in right now over at patreon.com/whowouldwinmasters. What a bargain. And you could be saying things as eloquent as "I saw you, Matt," from William Schmidt. All right.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And it's free. You know, a lot
It
of
is
places
free.
will be like, hey, come and join us on a free trial. We don't believe in that. Look, if you want to give a few dollars, of course we will take it and we will appreciate you for your kindness. But if you want to come in and enjoy like 95% of our Patreon and vote, and you want to make suggestions and make comments and be part of our live episodes and movie nights and all that stuff, you can do it for free. There is no intention anytime soon, especially of making you have to pay for these things. We want a big community, and that's the way to do it. And if we can add a few more members, I do have a copy of Low Rollers, the underground indie comedy movie that I was in many years ago about the seedy world of competitive marble playing. You'll never believe it. I play a not very nice person.
Okay,
Excellent.
I have two questions about that movie, which is why don't I own it? And how many times am I going to watch it credits to credits? Which is many.
To be fair, here's the deal. Why you don't own it? Probably because I have maybe one of 5 copies in existence. I don't think there's that many out there. I somehow finagled myself one of them, and I'd be happy to show it on a movie stream. Matt Harris, you know probably 90% of the people in this movie.
Yes.
It was basically the entire cast of the old school Top Story Weekly back when it was known as Big News Show.
Wow.
And yeah, it's
That's
crazy.
before my time.
It's a very fun time. It's a filthy movie. It's a foul-mouthed movie. Nothing that we would share on the air here, but we would share it with our patrons at a movie night. And I want to. We only need like, I think 12 more people to join for free. So if you're not on there, come get on there and let's do the thing.
Yes.
Ollie says this movie sounds amazing.
It's
Well,
pretty
we'll find
great.
out, maybe.
I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of low budget stuff. You have to understand walking in the door, you are seeing the indiest of indie movies. And if you can get your head around that, there's a lot in there to at least appreciate and enjoy.
Awesome. All right. Before we get to the final numbers, let's do some 5-star reviews. It looks like we got one this week. Is that it?
We just have one this week. You know what? Sometimes you got to take a break, Sam. We got one new 5-star review this week.
Busy. Easter's a heavy holiday. I guess people are like still chilling from all that egg hunting. I like how it says Sam will start. Sam will also finish this. All right.
Sam will also finish. That is correct.
Yeah, this one comes to us from Kill Troll, which says it's titled "Great Show," and says, "Thank you for top-notch battles. I would like to see Scarlet Witch versus Darth Vader. Also, can you check Spotify for reviews, please? Hashtag Sam's Decision song needs to be long." But there's no R at the end of that, but all right. I feel like it's the perfect length, honestly. I think it leaves you wanting more.
That's what we like about it. Yeah. Also, you know, and I appreciate, and first off, appreciate the 5-star review. If you go to Spotify, they don't let you post written reviews. It's just a number. So I went on Spotify, and the answer is 4.7 out of 5. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
400 some odd reviews. 4.7 out of 5.
It doesn't even tell us names. It just gives us the number.
Nothing. All you get on Spotify is you can rate it 1 to 5 after you've listened to a couple of episodes.
All right. Maybe that needs a song.
And there are no written reviews. So as much as I appreciate that Apple Podcasts written review, there are no other options that I've seen. Now, if you have other websites or podcast device feeds, whatever apps that you use that have a bunch of reviews and we've never read them, I would love to. I just don't know what they are or where to find them.
I know Good Pod does comments or reviews, and we had one a long time ago there.
Podbean, is that a thing? Do people use Podbean?
Yeah. Ollie says, "No more Vader," in response to, although it's as a quote, in response to Scarlet Witch versus Vader. I feel like Scarlet Witch would wipe that.
I probably shouldn't be wearing this shirt.
All right. Wow, look at that.
Oh, he's got the Vader shirt on.
Hey, listen. Vader just happens. I should make a new shirt that says Vader happens.
I like that. Get that in the store.
Fair.
All right. Well, let's see. We got our fans vote right now.
Yeah.
Usually we would be going a little bit harder than that. I'm actually checking Podbean right now just to try to find it. I found the podcast.
Okay.
On the thing.
Boom.
I'm not seeing where I would see reviews, though. This is riveting content that we're producing for the people now.
There it is.
Let me check
when you get to see behind the scenes of who would win Masters as they check for their reviews.
Do we have
you can't get this anywhere else, folks.
Theme song yet? Can we do that live? Compose that right now.
Right, hold on, let me hit up Fiverr. Let me see what we can do.
Checking for reviews.
There you go. We hit it. That is an improv game. We did it.
Done.
Perfect.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm dealing with improvisers on this show. And nominally, I am also an improviser, but I am on the lower end of talented improvisers. I'll tell you that right now. I have my lanes that I can do well in, but getting up on stage and doing a herald is not necessarily one of them.
It's been a while. It has been a while.
You know what? Most improvisers can't do a herald. It's one of the harder ones to do.
It is.
All right.
Yeah, it's the short games that are
categories.
Yeah.
So here we go. We have our Mortalverse poll. Let me go ahead and okay, Kitty. We'll do it. Okay, fine.
All right.
He's got things to say.
We got it.
No, he's going to weigh in. I want to hear. I want to know what he has to say. She's got to say.
Yeah, that's right. All right. This is the Mortalverse poll. This is the unofficial
I'm
poll
my drum roll here
from Matthew Dawson and the fine folks at Mortalverse. So they do this before they know a lot of the facts, and it's just a who likes who more. Drum roll. The winner of the Mortalverse poll with 71% to 29%, He-Man is the winner. Now, before you get all excited, that is not the official poll. There's a glimpse into what could be. All right?
Now, I understand this. Now, I consider myself a zillennial, right? It's right on the cusp of Xer and millennial. And He-Man was a very big part of our lives. I personally had had quite the collection of the He-Man toys, and
I think we all
as a
did,
matter of
right?
fact, I had, and tell me if you guys either had this. I had the Snake Castle,
Yeah.
Skeletor's Snake Mountain Castle
I-
that had the voice modulator.
The
Oh, yeah.
microphone was the coolest part about Snake Mountain. I
Definitely.
absolutely had that.
Loved Snake Mountain.
That
and
may still
got
be in my
hours
mom's
of play out
house.
of it.
Oh yeah.
You know what I saw? You know, Castle Grayskull had a certain like sticker you could put on it of like a dungeon trap with like eyeballs and tentacles and stuff
Oh,
coming
yeah.
out of it. Do you remember
Okay,
this?
yeah.
Yes.
I
Mhm.
once saw it available online as a rug that you could put in your home.
Oh wow.
And I kicked myself constantly for not pulling the trigger on that. I think that
Okay.
would have been absolute. Maybe that's still a thing you could order. Maybe I should be ordering
Gotta
it right
be.
now. But I really do wish I had one of those.
I mean, if it's not, can we steal that and put that in our merch store in some capacity as a
If
mouse
we
pad
can
or
figure
a
out the
towel?
design and make it as a t-shirt, maybe that's awesome.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, come get it, Mattel.
What's the
You're-
trademark
anyway, we
of
have our-
stickers? Let's do the official poll.
You're burning
right.
talent over here. Well, you know what? Think about this with the new He-Man movie coming out, especially
Yeah.
when you consider that the cartoon, they did that Netflix documentary, and it was, years ago, they was talking about how the whole cartoon
Sure.
and everything that we knew was literally just made as a long
sell
ad
things.
campaign for these
Yeah.
toys. Now, there's a new movie coming out, Masters
Mhm.
of the Universe.
Of course.
Are we getting upgraded action figures? Or
It would be
rebooted
ridiculous
action
if we're not.
I would
yeah,
like
it
that.
would. They have to be putting out a toy line.
Folks, I've been saying right now, I found the floor mat
Oh,
on
really?
eBay, regrettably for $216.35.
Holy crud!
We're gonna need some more
Woo.
patrons before we can pull the trigger on that. I'm gonna tell you that right
We
now.
might have to do a Kickstarter just so that Ray can buy a rug.
Well, what's
Get Ray's rug Kickstarter, not that one, the one
It's
for
a little
the
confusing.
floor.
It could be confusing.
That's
yes.
what I do. Yeah, you know what? That's gonna get real weird real quick.
you know what though? Hey, what's the thread count? Okay, there might be something
That's a great
quality
point.
in there.
It looks great. Honestly, it looks like somebody like made it at Kinko's, but that's not the point I'm trying to make. The point is I am jealous because I do not own it. And also 0% chance my family would allow me to have this in the house. It is very upsetting to look at. And I would not be allowed to own that. Nor
But-
do I think I would want to at the end of the day,
Fair.
because there's a lot of explaining you got to do.
You know what? And I see the Array's rug buying song. Okay, maybe something a little folksy.
All right,
Maybe a little
Ollie.
like
Yeah.
Ray's rug band. Hacha! I can see that. I can see that happen.
Man, that, you're pulling off every single 1980s local TV ad all at once with that.
It's
for
in a
every
theme.
car dealership I grew up around.
And you're from Detroit, so that's probably a lot of car dealerships.
lot of them.
It's a lot of
Me
cars.
and Dog want you to go to Telegraph
no.
Road right now. Get a good deal. About 2 people out there just flipped the bleep out when they heard me sing that.
All right,
Everybody
I hate
else,
to
it's
muscle
okay. You
in,
don't
but
have to.
let's get to the official poll.
Well, we're not just singing jingles. It's the
No,
wrap
I
up.
mean,
All right, fair enough. Here's our drum roll. This is the Patreon poll, Sam Proof.
official
big one.
poll. This is the one that counts for all the marbles, indie film or not. And the winner with 52 to 48% is He-Man. Congratulations.
Whoa!
There you go. There you go.
Whoa!
That's
Thank you.
close. So close.
That's really
Whoa.
close.
That was.
Like,
I'm shocked how
We
close
tell
that
the
is,
people.
honestly.
we tell the people, you come on the Patreon, you get to vote in the polls, and then the polls come down to what? We have a tie a few weeks ago.
We
Now
did.
we have a 52-48 banger. Like, every single one of these votes is gold. And
God,
if
if
you're
this
a
had been
fan of the
another
show and
tie,
you're not
good
taking
Lord.
part, I mean, I don't know what more to tell you. This
Yeah.
is your chance to be a legitimate part of the program.
Yeah. Hey, I want to say that thank you everybody who voted on this fight. Thank you everybody who listened. I actually shared this podcast with some friends
Nice.
Mostly because I just wanted to say, hey, you heard me win, right? But I do want to say this. It was a close one. This
It
was
really
a really,
was.
really close one. I re-listened to it, not just because I enjoy the sound of my own voice and sometimes, say, you know what, I haven't been yelled at by
I get
Ray
it.
today. Let me get him in my head. And just listening to it again, I was like, ooh, wow. Yeah, no, actually, Ray did he did some of his trickery that he does. But I swung back right there. So it went back and forth and back and forth. Hey, if I have to concede, I will do so. However, as I said before, those who know, they know.
It's fair.
48% of them know.
It's crazy because I go back and I listen to the episodes most of the time because I mostly just love to hear my own voice. And I'm pretty well convinced I win every battle. I'm very convincing to myself.
That's on
There you
brand.
go.
That's on brand.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
He knows his audience. It's him. But yes, it was masterfully debated on both sides. Shockingly close. Well done. And we'll find out what everyone had to say after this break. And we're back. Ray, you want to start us off with some comments?
I do want to start us off. We have quite a few comments to get through. Now, Matthew Harris, you're going to like some of these.
All right.
And you're going to dislike others.
You don't know that. All right. You
Fair
don't
enough.
speak for me.
I'm making grand assumptions here. I'm going to open it up. Normally, his comments are our closing ones. Today, it's our opener. We want to start strong. William Schmidt, who's in the chat right now, who we'll be talking about a little bit later. He's going to be involved in something very special coming up soon.
Oh, yeah.
William Schmidt says, I went back and forth on this one. There were good points made by both debaters. He-Man is the strongest mortal alive and rarely ever takes enough damage to be defeated. His clash to Superman shows he deserves to be on this stage. Kratos is a demigod with wins over an incredible list of opponents, including many that could stand toe-to-toe or even beat Superman. Oh, well, okay, hold on.
Okay.
Looking at the victories and deeds for each combatant, I have to side with Kratos.
Wow.
In this fight 7 out of 10 times.
Okay.
Both have enough power to put the other one down for the count, but He-Man would not go for the throat. He would look to subdue his opponent, but Kratos would go straight for the kill, and that would give him the edge needed to win this fight, in my opinion.
My man.
There it is.
All right.
My man. I mean, listen. This William Schmidt is just obviously a very intelligent person.
Can't fight him.
That's fair. That's fair.
Who's probably incredibly attractive as well. Listen, I don't know. But what I can say,
you already got his vote. You don't need to butter him up anymore.
What I can say is this, and because I thought that this was something that was brought up within the debate that was really worth mentioning. When you look, I mean, yes, okay, you go to DC and you see that he's gone kind of toe-to-toe with these DC characters. When you look at who Kratos went toe-to-toe with, I mean, these are world makers. Yes, Superman is, depending on which version of DC you're reading of him, he's almost invincible. He's the cheat code. However, Kratos is going against people who they are the purveyors of entire pantheons. The whole Greek god and universe, he took them on, and the whole Norse universe, universal makers, he took those on. So, excellent observation, William Schmidt. I agree with you.
Wow. What a shocker. I said you'd agree with some of them.
Fair enough. Moving on. Lynn Stein says, I feel like He-Man takes this one. If he'd argued for God of War 3 Kratos, I'd probably lean the other way, but he lost most of his versatility and mobility, so it's hard to say the Ghost of Sparta could meaningfully handle the power of Grayskull.
That's an interesting point right there. I mean, the argument there is that the later Kratos that you were kind of leaning into lost a step. even though he was still very powerful, and that going backwards to God of 3 Kratos might have been maybe that's a good argument. I don't know. I'd have to think about that one. He is much more spry in God of War 3, that's for sure.
Was
yeah,
he
he's
repping
rolling and
the I have
flipping.
5 days left to retirement Kratos? Did I miss that part? Okay.
It was very
I'm
much
too old for this.
Exactly.
Sam, it's more so that in the newer God of War, he has a kid. And
okay.
all of us could speak to the fact that having a kid will age you.
That's fair.
Very well.
This is true. This is true. And you know what? That's not the first sort of thing that I've heard about this, but here's what I'm going to say, especially if you have a kid and you are starting to age like I'm age. Here's something that I'm going to tell you, all right? All you people that obviously haven't aged out yet, there is something called old man strength.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
Old man strength is on another level. All right? That's icy steel grip. Also, I had considered it. Actually had considered, who do I want to go with? But the reason I decided to go with older Kratos mostly was because of his weapons that he had. Because young Kratos would have fallen more into a point that Ray tried to make, which was that most of the weapons he had were just like things that he had stolen from other gods, picked up along the way, which was true for a lot of the games. Whereas in the latter games, those weapons were him and forged for him. And so it's a really, really good point because younger Kratos was also way more vicious. So I did waffle on that. So not wrong.
Okay.
Not wrong.
Fair enough.
All right, well, let's keep going then. We got Guardian who says, great battle. I love both these guys, and I think it's fantastic matchup. Both fighters were well represented, and as always, as close as these two are. I think Kratos takes it 6 out of 10 for sheer ferocity. Why am I reading all the Kratos ones? While He-Man has plenty of ways to disable or remove Kratos, he's going to see Kratos as a strong opponent to be fought. He-Man takes 2 Chaos Blades to the chest before he utters his first one-liner. #Ray is usually right. Also, He-Man is the most powerful man in the universe. Kratos is a demigod. Technicality, I know, but I'm surprised it wasn't challenged outside of maybe he's just the most powerful man in his own universe. One more thing. Sorry. The regular long version of the email song is genuinely fun to listen to on my drive to and from work. I vote to keep it.
Wow.
That's 1 vote for the extra long email song.
All right.
It's very popular. I've told Sam won't believe me.
Is it
he doesn't
popular?
think anybody wants it. I think everyone wants it.
I don't think those are the right words.
It's a banger. And you know what? Respect to what they said, not just because they agree with Kratos, but there were points that I wanted to push back on. But man, let me tell you, when you're in this hot seat and that buzzer goes off, you're just like, the time constraints. The time constraints, they get you.
It's no easy task, and I don't envy either of you. I have my little
tough.
cram
I try to
session at
jam
the end,
pack a lot in there, and it is most episodes that I look down at the timer and see I've got about 30 seconds to go, and I've still got half my point in front of me. So look, these things do happen. Got to fill that time.
Yeah, it's a special skill. All right, I'm not sure if he took off from the chat already, but Ollie Lowe comes at us with, this is something that took me back. I remember the He-Man cartoon. I remember playing God of War. I don't think I'm alone in agreeing with Sam that He-Man has more than one way to win. Kratos woke up and chose violence. He-Man has other ways. I don't necessarily think that Kratos being thrown into a portal or the Kratos sphere would be the definitive way that he would win, but I do agree that it's possible. And given his strength and speed feats, plus the idea that Kratos saves most of his brutality for gods, I think He-Man probably takes it 7 times out of 10. I don't think I'm going to change my mind on it this time. This takes nothing away from what Matthew did. Another good battle, gents.
I think we need to find out what Gail Simone, the comic book writer, has to say, because she's the champion of 7 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
So I mean, hit her up. She does follow me on Threads now, so this is a life joy.
Well,
nice. Nice. You know what? I think I have to respect what Ali said there. I was not convinced, though, Ali, that He-Man had more ways to win than one. Other than, you know what way I might have conceded to? You know what way I might have just thrown my hands up in the air and said, okay, is that if somehow like that Prince Adam side of He-Man came through and he talked sense to Kratos and he was just like, why are we not but enemies? And that maybe because older Kratos is more open to hearing sensible arguments.
He'll listen.
So you don't think it would have just been one of these like, oh my God, what is that? A talking green tiger? And then hits him. Yeah, that's not the move. All right.
I like the idea of Prince Adam turns his chair around and sits down and says, let's rap.
Says, you know what, Kratos? We've all got our swords to bear, right?
It got us matching blouses. Check this out.
Yeah, put on a shirt, Kratos. Come on, man. Look, I'm going to move forward. Wes Holt. Wes Holt, thank you for being a part of the show. He says, I do love me some Kratos. God of War is like my favorite PS2 game. I figure this is like a Batman versus Punisher debate. One has many ways to end the battle, but one has one rather final way of dealing with their enemies. And that many ways just about swings it for me. As much as it pains me to vote against my boy, and you never know, Ray might win a Patreon poll for the first time in a while. Now, hold on a second. Nonsense. I've won plenty of Patreon polls. I might have, you're not going to win them all. This is a fact of life. Take the good, take the bad. Facts of life. And that's fine. I did win this Patreon poll, though, and I am relieved. Relieved is the word I would use. I was very nervous coming into this one.
Moving on, Janet Pax from the Mortalverse Discord says, don't underestimate He-Man. He's very powerful and has taken down the most dangerous of enemies. He's up there with the likes of Superman, Thor, and Goku. Kratos is tough, but I don't think he can compete with He-Man.
I love that. Yeah, absolutely true.
You know what? Here's what I think is funny, because I won't argue that point. I think you could pretty much take that same quote and just put Kratos' and switch the names, and I feel like that would still be true.
Maybe.
I feel like it would still be true. And William Schmidt, I wish I would have seen that DC comic that you just mentioned.
It's pretty good. Zeus just backhanded Superman into submission. Kratos put Zeus down. You got some transitive property you could do there.
Yeah.
I will say, I don't think people underestimate He-Man anymore. I think 10 years ago, everyone underestimated He-Man. And I think there are enough programs like ours have come out and deep dives and, and a lot of more information about He-Man has come out. And I don't think he gets underestimated anymore. I'll just say that. I think He-Man is full respected as a character to the point where we're getting a new live action movie that all the Gen Xers can complain about. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, you know what? As a Gen Xer, as a millennial, whatever you want to call me, the Netflix series, that Netflix sort of limited series that came out, I thoroughly enjoyed.
I enjoyed it as well. We did it for Knowing Is Half the Podcast, and I was the one who enjoyed it the most. The rest of them did not care for it.
I actually did, and I thought it actually brought some resurgence to the character, taking a whole new look at how powerful he really is in He-Man form. So I agree with you, Ray.
Yeah, the Kevin Smith Show. For those who haven't seen the Kevin Smith Show, it's a Masters of the Universe something. The general premise, you got to be on board with this or you're not going to like it. The general premise is in the very first episode. This is not a spoiler. It's the very first episode. He-Man and Skeletor, while they're fighting, both get essentially battlefield removal off the series. So what you're watching is a Masters of the Universe show with no Skeletor and no He-Man for a high percentage of the episodes as you follow Teela around, I believe Evil Lynn, and I really like the reimagining of this post-apocalyptic Eternia. It very much kind of hits that Mad Max kind of vibe for me, but you have to be on board with watching Masters of the Universe with virtually no He-Man and virtually no Skeletor. If you can wrap your head around that, I think it's a very enjoyable series.
Yeah, and Teela, great character. They really they found a lot. She's not some sidekick. They really do use that character the way they should. So
they do. They round out the character and make her somebody worth following around. Absolutely. I'm going to read the next one. We got Bjorn the Viking. Welcome back, Bjorn. This is off the Mortalverse Discord as well. He says, He-Man, depending on which iteration, not only has all the power of Grayskull behind him, but all the combined power of all the past people who carried the mantle of He-Man.
Yes.
I didn't know that part about the character. I'm not as familiar, I guess. I didn't realize he was a Black Panther clone.
Yeah, right.
But I trust Bjorn the Viking. He knows things. That didn't come up in my research, though. So
classic D&D Viking feat. Yeah, it's good. All right.
Okay.
Lena Liddy says...
Lena?
Is it Lena? All right. We'll go both
I only
ways.
know the name is Lena, but, like, you know, it's fine.
I'm just reading the letters. So
that's fine.
You can yell at one of us. All right. Says, really awesome battle. I think Matthew argued Kratos well, but I figure He-Man has more paths to victory here. It only takes one.
Yeah, I mean, that's my main argument when it comes down to it. I think, look, Kratos is a powerhouse, but I just think He-Man has too many tools in his belt, if you will. But here we go. I'm going to keep going. Lord Boxford, he opens up on the Mortalverse Discord by saying, Prince Adam, he is a man. Kratos is a bleeping god. And then he later came on to update on the Who Would Win Masters Patreon. He goes, updated, He-Man won, Kratos lost, I was wrong. Hashtag Ray is right. See, people listen to reason sometimes.
Okay. Listen,
but
don't you dare sell yourself short, sir, okay? You were not wrong. You go with that instinct, all right? We know how some of the people voted, but deep down in your heart, you know, you understand. And there are 48% of other people who are like you.
That could have been the vote that sort of pushed it over the top for me. Who knows?
Come join us. Come join us.
He does have more to say, though. And this is some hot Sam Proof call out, so I'm here for it. It says, Sam Proof coming after bread now? As a matter of fact, I have strong feelings about bread. It's just bread, quote unquote, only if you're talking about pre-sliced plastic bag Wonder Bread BS. Your statement rules out a nice focaccia, a tasty rosemary ciabatta. You also may strike me as a man who enjoys a good banana bread or a hearty French toast.
That's not the same.
French toast without bread, forget about it. In closing, maybe a little more respect for bread. Thank you. Lord Moxford, defender of bread.
Wow. All right, to be fair,
wow,
that was all from the sponsor. I just read the script and take the money because you can buy me for just a little bit. I do like a good
That was
ciabatta.
the American Bread Association, I believe.
Yeah.
They were underselling themselves, if I could be honest with you.
That's fair. Can I just tell you, I recently did an East Coast trip, and we went to a very fancy hotel that we could not afford, but thankfully my wife's sister works at, so we got it for pennies on the dollar, and then took our savings of what we saved on that very expensive hotel room, and we're like, we'll just get a fancy breakfast, which cost as much as the room did for us. I'm not going to give the actual numbers, but one of the 4 items that we got was a chocolate cinnamon babka French toast. And my God, that was the most amazing thing I have ever put in my mouth. Let that be a statement.
Well, that's absolutely crazy.
All right.
Look, fancy breakfast is something I am always here for. I have spent lots of money on fancy breakfast before. If you're ever here in the Los Angeles area, just go by BB's. In, I believe, what is that?
I don't know that one.
Whatever. It's by the studios.
Okay.
And it's delightful. And you're going to spend too much money, but it's going to be the best breakfast you've ever had. I'm going to read one here from The Snark Knight. The Snark Knight says, epic battle. This one was argued very well on both sides and kept me on the fence until the end. I ended up voting for Matthew Harris and Kratos, mainly based on the strength of his opponents. Odin, Zeus, an entire pantheon of gods makes for a pretty impressive track record. Not even sure He-Man can just shove him into something like a portal. You keep them coming. Thank you very much, Snark Knight. Matthew Harris, do you have anything to add to that?
I think he's right. I think he voted correctly. And, you know, I do not want to look down upon He-Man, but hey, you know, Kratos has He-Man has defeated a lot of people, and I'm only, vaguely familiar through my research. I only have a certain amount of familiarity with DC He-Man, but the body count and the amount of bodies, like in Kratos' universe, there is no more ancient Greece. He literally destroyed an entire world.
How about that?
So yeah,
That's unfortunate. I'm here for our Greek brothers and sisters.
never forget.
That's right. Sam Proof, are you back with us?
Almost.
I'm going to take that as a no. So I'm going to keep on going here. That internet, man, it gets rough in Tarzana. Corey Acklin said, this battle was amazing. I knew nothing of Kratos before listening, but I definitely learned a lot. He-Man takes it. Hashtag Ray is right. That's what I'm talking about.
You know what? I respect that. I respect that of like, wow, you educated me so much and you still lose. However,
That's right.
So much fun watching you lose to Ray Stakenas.
Is that sort of like what happens when like a flat earther goes to like their science class and they sit there and they listen, they read the books, and then at the end of the hour, they're just like, respectfully, I disagree. I question that sometimes. All right. Well, Sam Proof will come back and join us potentially when and if he is able to do so. I'm a one-man show with Matt Harris right now. Matthew
Woo!
Harris, you are my Andy Richter right now. So let's make this happen.
I'm ready for it.
Lord Snurts, always delightful. He says, Ray took it with He-Man. Using the comic version was a smart move. Better luck next time, Matthew Harris.
I like that. And I will take better luck next time. I'd also agree that the smart move was to use DC He-Man. Notice, though, all of you, and I'm sure that you did, how Ray snuck in cartoon He-Man at the end again. He was like, you know what? We don't want to mention him throwing the moon around. However, he threw a moon around. Okay, that's my point. I mean, listen, I
mean, that's fair. Look, I do understand fully well that it carries less weight, but I do know if you don't mention a couple of these feats in any sort of He-Man discussion, regardless of what the discussion is about, someone in the comments is going to be like, actually, He-Man once pushed the moon. It was a different version of the character. Doesn't matter. Okay, cool, man. I just want to get ahead of that because I've been doing this long enough to know where the pain points are going to happen down the road.
And well played. Well played, because I think it, even though it carried less weight, it definitely went more into the final decision. And even reading from the comments, people were convinced. So I don't hate the player.
Man, and when I just did that internet comment guy voice, for a moment, the two of us got a brief Alexander and Michael Price moment from Reclaim Detroit. That was
wow.
Very exciting for a brief second there. Turns out that character doesn't sound exactly like me. Weird. Sam Proof is potentially back with us again, but he's smiling in a way that makes me think he's not. Oh, he is.
There's the Sam Proof.
There's who we're looking at. Sam Proof. Okay, right. So Sam Proof, we're on the Cam Sully comment. If you want to take this one, if you have the bandwidth.
Okay, hang on. Let me. All right, hang on. Get ready for this.
No, that's right. Gear up. Gear up.
Cam. There it is, right here in the middle of the document. It says Cam Sully says, "Blam."
Thank you, Cam Sully. I appreciate that. It's a great comment.
Wow.
Thank you for being a part of our Patreon. We appreciate you.
Blam.
Blam.
That's it. That's it.
We got one more here. We're going to end with a nice big one. I like to end with a nice big one. Forbidden Mob, we appreciate you, Forbidden Mob. We appreciate your connection with the show. And thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of the Patreon. It says, the battle of the century. Wow. Two colossal beefcakes who squash magicians, superpowered beings, and gods while barely sporting a loincloth. My young yes. self loved He-Man growing up, while my salt and pepper current version loves the god of war games. So I'm glad I didn't have to sit in Sam's shoes. Matt Harris, you, sir, did phenomenal. You should be proud. Even Kratos would give you a friendly head nod, I'm sure. Yeah, I've seen that meme. I thought you did a superb job explaining Kratos' main weapons, but I think Ray did an equally great job explaining how He-Man's sword is equal to Kratos' many weapons, as far as strength goes. Ray is right to pump the brakes when Matt said that they have equal strength. It is not.
Wow.
He-Man through a moon. Defeated, stalemated Superman-level threats. He defeated the Flash, who's faster than Hermes by far, so he wins at speed. With feats, I'd say it's a wash. With combat IQ, I give a slight edge to He-Man for not losing his cool in battle. He thinks clearer. Plus, the title of greatest combat combatant from DC, I say beats, there you go, Zeus and his boys. Superman would do it too, is what he's saying. Their record of wins is close too, and it came down to me, to the portals. The massive strength of He-Man equals battlefield removal, slightly better than everything else, and that leaves Ray the winner. 10 out of 10 episode, gentlemen. This year will be the best year for Who Would Win yet. I firmly agree with that. Also, I must say this episode was far better in every way over the old show's episode. Remember, the previous iteration did this battle, and I think this one did it justice. I don't think the old one did. Yeah. Come back soon, Matt Harris. Sparta needs you to rep. Leonidas from 300 next.
Sparta. Nice. That what a wonderful comment. Even though he decided to go with Ray, that was eloquently put. And you know what? I do want to address something because I misspoke and I tried to correct it later in the episode. So if you go back and give a listen, because at a certain point, it may have said I didn't necessarily say that they were the same. I said their strength was a wash. And later on in my arguments, I did concede that He-Man's power was greater. And my point on that was that didn't matter. And because what I was arguing was that just about everybody that Kratos beat is either stronger than him, faster than him, smarter than him in some way. And so I was, but it's good to know how my communication did or didn't come off. So I don't even say that he's wrong. I say that I just needed to do a better job of explaining that. So thank you, because you gave me some good feedback.
For sure.
That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. That is all your comments for this week. Yeah. If you, and Sam, I know you'd be on top of this. I'm saying it too. Patreon.com/whowouldwinmasters. You could join for free, vote, comment. I can't be clearer enough about it. We want everybody who listens to be involved. I don't care if the wrap-up episodes are 19 hours long. Everyone else does, but I don't care if they're 19 hours long. I want to read all the comments that we could possibly find, and you know the places to do it. You know the Discords of the world. You know the Patreons. We try to look at all of the above. And then if we miss something, we do. But you know where to put it, and we'll try to find it for you. That's all I have to say about that.
Matthew Dawson has the real hard-hitting question, though. It's who has the better loincloth? That's the battle we need to see.
I think He-Man. Got to give it to He-Man.
You know what? He-Man has the better loincloth, but here's something that I should have brought up. Maybe this might have even helped push me over the edge. All right. Is that He-Man did everything he did with very, put together loincloth and boots. Kratos killed gods in sandals. All right.
In sandals. That's
I can't even run in sandals. Should have brought that up.
I don't even like wearing sandals. I'll be honest with you. They make me uncomfortable.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Look, we are an anti-sandals podcast here at Who Would Win Masters, and that has been made our official statement on the notes. Thank you.
I'll do slides. I'll give you slides, but sandals.
No, slip-on shoes are the best, but I'm not
only around a pool for me. But okay.
No, even then, that's weird. Right. 19 hours, though. If we did a 19-hour show, Matthew Dawson wants us to know, we'd still have time for the full email song. That's right. That's right.
The extended cut, too.
So, yeah. It's time for our next ad break. I'll jump straight to it. We'll be back with emails, recommendations, our next battle, and more right after these messages.
Hope it's not a slipper ad. And we're back. And it's time for everyone else's favorite thing, apparently, and not mine. It's time for the email song, I guess.
You know what?
What?
Because we're going to see the difference. We're going to see.
We got a new?
I'm going to test you guys. We're only going to play the short version this week, and we'll see if you miss it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I took it
okay,
away
yeah,
from
let's
you
do
to
it.
see if you actually love it.
It's who would win Masters. Email time. It's who would win Masters. Email time.
It's like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of angry people right now. I think people
Wow.
love the long email
Wow.
song. I'm
They
not
were
going to
with
lie,
it.
and you can all tell me or not. Did you feel ripped off today?
If
Did you
this
feel
is what
heisted
turns the
that you didn't
people
get the full
against me,
song?
then I don't know what I'm doing here.
I'm going to read. We got an email from Luke, our good friend Luke, who loves emailing the show. And he has, strap in. He's got a few thoughts. I did have to edit it down a little bit. Keep that in mind. So, Luke, I'm sorry if I didn't hit all the points. I feel like I did a good job hitting most of them. Dear Ray and Sam, and I'm going to add Matthew Harris as well. This battle I did indeed enjoy. He-Man versus Kratos. Should this one be given an A rank or an S rank? I don't really know. I'm not really familiar with the God of War games or the He-Man franchise, but I really do think this battle was wonderful. Also, Sam, great intro jokes, by the way, simple, cheesy, but also clever and easy for the newcomers to grasp, for those that haven't immersed themselves in either of these IPs. These are A-rank jokes, judging from what I've heard from the sidelines. He-Man does win this. Ray and Sam both said everything that was needed in that point. While 1980s style plot armor would not be a viable factor in a neutral location, Ray mentioned 4 big things that stuck out to me. First, He-Man's strength versus Kratos' anger issues. Ha ha! I personally know that anger can and does cloud one's focus and thoughts. The way you described it made me think of Inuyasha in that bloodlust state, but not with the same coolness. Or dare I say it, like Sonic the Werehog from Sonic Unleashed, but not nearly as cool again. By the way, Sonic Unleashed is awesome. I still think the Werehog form is underrated and underappreciated as heck, just saying. Second, He-Man is throwing Castle Grayskull across space all the way back to Eternia. That's crazy, but in a positive sense for this battle. Also, He-Man just needs to at least throw Kratos across the ocean, like Mario throwing Bowser in Super Mario 64 by grabbing him by the tail, or He-Man could just knock Kratos away with the power sword, like how he slapped that meteor away baseball style, like Babe Ruth or Cal Raleigh, the big dumper. Bam! Battlefield removal equals a win for He-Man. Third, He-Man's wins against Superman, Lobo, Killer Frost, Deathstroke, Solomon Grundy, Gorilla Grodd, and him one-shotting the Flash, that's particularly big examples that caught my attention for all those wins. Collectively and singularly, they do speak for themselves. Fourth, Kratos won't really have any beef with He-Man the same way he would with gods. He-Man's not a god.
Fair.
So make of that what you will.
Yep,
Smiley face.
That is a
Luke,
good point.
I appreciate you. Thank you very much. He did have some other bits in there, but for time's sake, this is not a 19-hour show yet, to my chagrin. We had to make a cut there. But Luke, thank you so much for writing the show. We appreciate you. Keep them coming. I'll keep reading them.
The man, Luke. The man. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that
that's
was
fair.
well crafted.
I mean,
well
listen.
thought out.
He's another person to bring up the rage thing. I just before we go, everybody's like, oh, the anger's going to cloud him. I think Ray even brought that up, cleverly so. However, I just want to state that especially and this it's especially if you're not familiar with the character, you'll know that this later iteration, rage is his power, and Spartan rage is literally a power that, as I explained, that he could turn into damage or he could use to heal himself. So maybe Kratos went to therapy and he found out a way to channel his rage because that's what was on display in the games.
Interesting. I don't think Kratos went to therapy. I'll go ahead and put it out there.
The
I think having a
Oracle
kid will
could
know
be
you.
a therapist. It's true. It's true.
Is Better Health one of our sponsors this week? Because I think that ties in really nicely. And we could all learn something from
If they're not, they
Kratos'
should get back on board.
emotional mental
I mean,
journey.
come on. The Better Health, you're sleeping on us. We could be tying it in, okay? We could be working together.
Yeah.
But they've
And
been
if
with
you're
us so
not,
far this
go
year all
crazy,
along. I don't know
folks.
what's playing, but we appreciate Better Health as a sponsor. I don't think they're specifically sponsoring this episode, but what do I know?
All right.
They should be.
Well,
Anyway, we got some battle suggestions.
Yeah.
Wow.
we have a whole section on our Discord for people to suggest battles, and I've grabbed my 3 favorites from here. First one actually comes from Luke.
Nice.
Luke actually sent this in on his email, but I added it into the section. So I've already lied
Okay.
about the premise already. That's what
All
I
right,
do
then.
here. I'm a carny trash. My point I'm trying to say here is Luke's battle idea, Master Chief versus Iron Man.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Can Master Chief
I can see it. I
fly
can
on
see it.
his own? Does he have that? He needs a vehicle
No,
for
he
that,
cannot.
doesn't he?
No.
Yes. So that
He
feels
does need a
like
vehicle
an
for that.
Iron Man win to me. But maybe. I mean, he does have the weapons. He can just shoot from very far away. But
Yeah, I don't
that
know.
sounds all right.
New Iron Man has like that nanoparticle technology.
Depends on what you use. Yeah.
Yeah, William Schmidt says if it's an older Iron Man, it's probably a little bit better of a fight. Yeah, the newer ones,
Sure.
I think, drop him from space.
True.
Yeah.
But Master Chief, the person, is way more durable than Tony Stark. So there's kind of
Yeah.
something there.
Well, and who's got the better
All of the
AI
above, yeah.
system, right? Yeah. Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
so.
it's
Well, anyway,
pretty good.
what's
It's
our next
pretty good.
battle, Sam Proof?
All right, Matthew Dawson has Juggernaut versus the Flash, the unstoppable force versus the speed force. Is that what that is? Yeah.
I guess. I don't see how Juggernaut ever hits the Flash. I don't see
Yeah.
how any character ever hits the Flash. I don't know how the Flash, the way he's written, ever loses a fight unless somebody just needs him to as a writer.
Right.
Like, it's just absurd to me because he
But
can
how
just
does-
react to everything. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, it's
But
pretty
how
true.
does the
with
Flash stop the Juggernaut from moving? If he's moving, all right. William Schmidt says,
Oh,
can the
he'll
1
just-
mile punch hurt Juggernaut? I don't know.
Not if he's
Well-
in motion. Maybe not if he's
Not
in
if
motion.
Yeah.
This is the question I have. Juggernaut doesn't move as fast as the Flash. It's not even close. So if the Juggernaut's got his head of steam and the Flash comes up with Flash speed behind him and hits him forward with an infinite mass punch, can that launch him into space? Because he's still keeping the momentum. He's
Oh, okay.
just adding to
He's
it.
adding, yes.
That's a
yeah.
good point.
Okay. Yeah.
Good point.
Just using that against him. Interesting. That might be a literal one-shot path to victory there. All right. You
Could
got
be.
one
I
more
got one
from
more of these. Ali Lowe, who was just in chat. Thank you, Ali Lowe, all the way from the UK. He wants to know Homelander versus Albert Wesker from Resident Evil. I think Homelander gets him. Albert
I'm-
Wesker is one of my favorite villains in video games, though.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
but Albert Wesker, what's his durability?
It's very high because I believe he injected himself with one of those viruses from the Resident Evil.
So he eventually, okay.
He
Okay.
basically, for a while in Code Veronica, I and everybody else thought he'd become a vampire somehow because he had glowing red eyes, was moving like faster than the eye can see. And then they brought him back for Resident Evil 5, and he basically couldn't hit him. He was reaction speed was too fast, and he was picking up cruise missiles and just throwing them at you. So I mean, it's not like he does nothing, but I don't know that it's enough that Homelander can't just eye beam him. Because Homelander can move very fast as well. It's a good question. Does the speed for Wesker make up for some of that? I don't know. I think Homelander just might be a too big an apple to bite.
Yeah.
No, Homelander is also essentially, he's got the very similar Superman overlay, just with way more mental illness. So that's
Yes.
Okay. Fair.
And also, Homelander does very poorly in Who Would Win battles. I have never seen one he's ever been in that he actually won.
because no one wants Homelander to win.
That's fair. Matthew Dawson in the
30%
chat.
of America, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matthew Dawson in the chat says, I'm siding with Wesker. Homelander isn't allowed to win one of these ever. Fair.
It's true.
I mean, yes, that is the
Yeah.
consensus. We're under contractual obligation. Just too mentally
100%,
unstable in the
sir.
end, says William Schmidt. All right. I
That's fair.
have a last minute entry on our battle suggestions.
Oh, yes.
Last
Oh, yes,
wrap up,
please.
we did the girls, Matilda versus 11, and that has been a
Right.
talking
Oh.
point around the dinner table for many days. And my daughter was like, "Can I submit a battle suggestion?" And I was like, "Well, I'm not getting you a Discord account," but she did give me this post-it note, hot off the presses, and she
Okay.
at first
Let me see it.
At first, she said Harry Potter versus Percy Jackson. And then a minute later, she was like, well, they both kind of suck. I want to do Hermione Granger versus Annabeth Chase. Annabeth Chase, of course, is from the Percy Jackson universe. Daughter of Athena, I believe, has some, I'm not very familiar. She has some invisibility ability with, I think she has a helmet maybe. And of course, Hermione Granger.
I think this needs to be a post on social media. I think I need more information. I've repped Percy Jackson, I believe, on the old episodes of the show before.
Okay. Nice.
I have, but I don't remember a ton about him in this moment. That's one of my blind spots culturally. Hermione Granger, I know, is no joke. And then when she nails you with a spell, like she holds back to a point because she knows when she hits you, it's going to hurt real hard.
Yeah. All right. I will throw those up on the Discord, and we'll see what the people have to say. If you're out there, you want to join us on Discord.
And I want more kids suggestions. If you have your kids and they listen to the show, I want to know what they want to know. That's who I'm talking to.
Yeah.
Youths.
All right. We'll bring it in.
That's fair. All right. So it's time for what we're watching and playing, and I'm going to let us off here. I hope you guys have been enjoying my Elden Ring videos. I have been deep diving into Elden Ring. Now, I did not enjoy Dark Souls at all. I did not enjoy Sekiro even a little bit. I thought it was just not fun in any way. I went on social media and I said, would I like Elden Ring? I'm told by some people I would, despite the fact that those first two statements are true. And I was 50% of the internet said, yes, I would like it. Literal 50% said, no, don't, because while it is a good version of those games, it is still one of those games. I went ahead and saw it on sale on PlayStation, so I bought it, and I am enjoying the heck out of it. I am shocked at how much I am connecting with the property. I have made a bunch of Game with Ray videos for our Patreon as well, and I've got 3 of them already up in the Patreon right now that you can watch. Full Let's Plays, full or real plays, whatever we're calling them. Each one's about an hour long or less or more. And I'm playing Elden Ring, episode 2 in particular, where I fought a particularly difficult boss battle for me. And I had at minimum 2 crash outs. It was probably more during that battle. So if you want to see me get frustrated and just despondent for a while, yes, you can watch me get beat up. What people don't know is I have made many, many, many more videos. I've actually been playing it a lot and just hanging on to the videos because I don't want to just drop them all at one time. Yeah. So those will be coming out fairly regularly as I do things. I will just say I put in about 10 hours into it as I speak today.
Okay.
And I have nice things to say. I think this is the most well-crafted, best designed one of these types of games I've ever played.
Nice.
Wow, that's fantastic. Nice.
It's almost like it won Game of the Year for a reason.
Fair. Okay. I think everything I have today is coming from Apple TV. And the first is actually 2 shows from Elizabeth Moss from Handmaid's Tale. The first being The Testaments, which is the spin-off, the sequel of The Handmaid's Tale that follows her daughter that is still in Gilead and that whole thing. And it's kind of it's like a slow burn. All of these shows are week-to-week releases, so I haven't seen the whole thing. And I'm waiting before I, give it the full judgment. I have high hopes, but then again, Handmaid's Tale kind of built for a while and kind of dropped the ball at the very end. So we'll see. I feel like they set something up and then they were like, we'll stab one guy, but we imply that a lot of other guys get stabbed and that's good enough for us. And I'm like, no, it's not. It really isn't. So I hope they go full force on this one. The second one is Imperfect Women, where Elizabeth Moss and 2 of her friends are in a sort of murder scandal in which one of the 3 dies, and there's just a lot of thriller, accusations going all over the place. And so far, so good. Yeah. All right. My wife likes it a little bit more than me, but yeah, they're both very good shows so far.
That's fair.
Yeah. All right, Matt, anything that you're watching or playing?
Yeah, you know what? I'll give you a little bit of both. So watching wise, I watch a lot of stuff. I've been on a little bit of a comedy kick recently. So I watched recently the specials of Shang Wang, which was really funny. If you look him up, Shang Wang on Netflix. His latest special was really good, and Trevor Noah's, which I
Nice.
I recommend. In
Sure.
terms of TV shows, I'm waiting for The Boys to kind of fill up before I dive into the new season. Excuse me. And yeah, there's a bunch of other stuff I'm watching, but those are kind of the newer things. And in terms of playing, there's a few things. I pick up and I put down Warhammer 3000 Space Marine 2. A buddy of mine got me into that one. That one is actually turned out to be fun. And I'm playing a game that I actually don't enjoy very much, but I have to see it through. This is kind of part of my personality here. So it's Gotham Knights, which if anybody has played it or has looked up the reviews, go look up the reviews. And I will tell you that they are all true. But for whatever reason, I have to know how this story ends. So I have found myself keep being like, this isn't really that great a game. And then I keep going back to it because, hey, I got to know how it ends.
Appreciate that.
Nice.
I tend to fall off a game before I hate finishing it unless it's short.
Yeah.
I'll say that. Well, I've been watching some TV as well. I'll keep a round 2 going here. I did check out the premiere pilot or first episodes of the latest season of The Boys, as we just said.
So did I.
And Daredevil, the new Daredevil show as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
I liked both of them. I like where these shows are going. I kind of really like the new MCU take on Daredevil. I like the old show too, but I thought it started spinning its wheels after a certain period of time. The new one has a little bit more stronger of a point of view, in my opinion. And I think it's got more of a direction to it, which is great. And I love all the cameos from all the other characters too. It's just so much fun. And The Boys, look, you're either on board with The Boys in the final season or not. You're either going to watch or not. I'm a fan of the property. I've read a lot of the comics.
Same.
The TV show, I'll say undisputably, is better than the comics. It's a case where the reimagining is stronger than the original imagining. They take a lot of the same stuff that's in there, but they make it a lot more palatable and I think a lot more intelligent, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And so I'm way on board for it. I'm very excited to see how they wrap this thing up, because I know how the comic books wrap it up, and it's not going to go exactly in that direction.
No, I can't.
And it was honestly kind of not a great ending in the comic books, and they have every opportunity to do it right here. So I'm very much looking forward to it.
Nice.
Yeah, they have to fix this. It's like Sam Beckett and Quantum Leap has come back to fix The Boys. William Schmidt wants to know if we're watching Invincible season 4. I haven't seen past season 1, even though it's great.
I also have not seen past season 1, and I just need to catch up. I want to. I just haven't had the time. There's too many things. Too many things on the television machine. Speaking of the too many things. Season 2 of Monarch Legacy of Monsters I'm watching, which is a fun time. It's kaiju doing kaiju stuff and Kirk Douglas doing Kirk Douglas stuff.
I like that.
With his son. So yeah, that's just a fun time. I have zero expectations for it. It's just a fun ride.
I could dig it. And Matt Harris, you got any last things to talk about?
You know, I did actually watch the first episode of Daredevil as well. I absolutely agree with you. I'm on board. It's interesting for me because I'm also, like we said with Invincible, I'm trying to go back and catch up on things that I've missed or that I haven't seen. And so I found myself over on Apple TV, and I am pretty much into the 3rd season now. I caught up of Shrinking.
I love it. That's one of my favorite shows of all time. So good.
It really hooked me in. Really funny show, solid cast. And I already, love Harrison Ford just as much as anybody else.
Sure.
It's just showing him in this light as this old crank has been some of my most favorite Harrison Ford appearances.
Woof. It's so good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I got one more here. I'm not watching Invincible season 5. Why? Because I watched Becky.
Nice.
Sam Proof suggested it a few weeks ago. It was suggested to me by Netflix. I watched the first Becky movie, which is how do you even explain what this is? It's a very violent action movie that stars comedians. The main villain is, what's his name? Kevin
James. Yeah.
As a Nazi.
Yeah.
Nazi
Bart.
And Joel McHale as an understanding father of divorce. His wife died. I forget exactly now.
No,
basically,
I think he's a widower.
It's a drama but it's an action. That's right. It was an action movie in that the bad guys come in and Becky, the 15-year-old aloof teenager, has to murder everybody to save the family members.
It's an avenging
and
angel.
she does so in remarkably
kind of
high school girl ways.
Yes.
And it's got moments of high levels of violence.
Right.
And it's a wild concoction of a movie that somehow does work. And I give Sam Proof credit. I did enjoy it. Some of it was really surprising.
Yeah,
I did like it. And before we move to the last couple sections here, I'm gonna open the door a moment here. Myself and Matt Harris are working on a collab series for the Patreon of video games, Game with Ray series, where we're going to be playing one of the Dark Pictures anthology games together. I don't know exactly how we've only recorded one episode as of this, but we're going to do the whole thing and I'm going to put it out.
Yes, we are.
And I don't know how it's going to play because it's, we're trying stuff, but I absolutely think it's going to be a lot of fun for people, especially if you've never seen these games before, to go ahead and sort of just play along with us and enjoy the story. So
nice. That sounds
it's
awesome.
been fun so far.
I have one last thing that I really want to put out there.
Yes.
Because Apple TV tried to get me to watch this so many times. Like every time Shrinking ended, like I'd caught up to an episode, it tried to start this show. Like every time we watched all of these other things, it tried to start it. And finally we're like, well, we don't have anything else to watch. Let's give it a shot. It's called For All Mankind, and it is an alternative
great show.
history. Yeah, take on the space race. The Russians, get off to the lead, and so we're trying to catch it. And it's so well done, so well written. It's basically just a massive character development show, and I love it. It's a lot of fun. I'm catching up. I haven't watched the whole thing.
It's very
yet,
good. I would argue it's the kind of show that gets weaker in some of the later seasons, but it's still worth watching.
All right. Well, so far so good.
Okay.
No, the first couple seasons blew my mind. So I agree with all of that. Last things to talk about, movie night. We haven't done our monthly movie night yet, so we're going to be doing that on Saturday night this week, everybody. Saturday night.
All right.
Which would be Saturday, April 25th. You yourselves are going to be able to pick what movie we watch. I have the whole thing set up. Last month we did Jason X for Friday the 13th, and it was an absolute hoot. I think we're going to pick action movies. I've got a series of action movies for the people to choose between that I'm very excited about. I'm excited about watching any of them. So we're going to give you guys the choice of a few action movies, and it's going to be a lot of fun there. And then finally, the last matchup, because I cannot get out of here without being yelled at about it. Our next battle. Are we ready for this? This is a very unique battle. This is not a battle we've done before.
Ooh.
This next battle will be Speed Racer versus Dominic Toretto from The Fast and the Furious.
Oh, no.
Special guest debater will be Kif Vanden Heuvel, VO superstar, who's appeared in movies such as Fantastic Four, Superman. He was just in the new Super Mario Galaxy movie. One of the most tremendous, talented guys. I've known him for a long time, and also a former debate champion. So this should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Speed Racer versus Dominic Toretto. We all know my feelings on the Fast and the Furious saga.
Yeah.
We also might not know my feelings on Speed Racer. I'm a big fan of that property as well. Grew up on it. So that's what we're going to be doing next week. Tune in. I think you're going to enjoy it. Also, as we record this, one more, I should say.
Okay.
Thursday, we're going to be doing a live recording as we get all of the people together for the summer tournament. We're going to get all the debaters, and we're going to have a special live recording that's going to air later where they're going to pick their characters. We're going to find out the first round seeds, and we're going to set up the tournament this Thursday at 8 p.m. Pacific time. Link will come out in the Patreon like always if you want to join in the audience and root for your favorites. It's going to be a giant mess of a show, and it should be a lot of fun as we've got a bunch of characters, and we're going to see who's fighting who for our summer tournament in round one. So be ready for that. That's what I have to say about that.
That's all. Going forward, just characters, cartoon characters from the 70s and 80s for the rest of the season. I think that's what we want. That's what we all want, right?
Let's do it.
Maybe.
Done.
I do want to do a quick self-promo. I will be going to the Kitten Rescue Kitten Shower this Sunday. So if you're in Los Angeles, I will be doing a live kitten bottle feeding demo look for that on places. Anyway, if you had any interest in fostering kittens, let's get out of here. We're going to close the book on this battle, but if you have thoughts, head over to the Discord, find that link pinned in the Patreon. I know that's a double click. Go to patreon.com/whowouldwinmasters, and that's where future polls will be and future links to these wrap-up shows. And if you think you've got what it takes to step into the challenger's chair, record a 1-minute video demo of yourself, send it to whowouldwinmasters@gmail.com, and who knows, you might be sitting across from Ray in the future. We'll be back with a brand new battle next week. For Who Would Win Masters, this is Sam Proof. Stay strong.